Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. And today I have a get ready with me for you with the Urban Decay Vice 4 palette. And my rule was to use all colors on my eyes except for my brow bone. And so that's pretty much what I did. So if you would like to see how I created this look, then please keep on watching. Alright, so I've got my hair out of my face and I'm going to be applying eyeshadow base first. And it's this one by NYX, and it's a good drugstore alternative. It's not as expensive as Too Faced, so I like this. I'm going to do my brows with the Soap & Glory Archery Brown Tint and Precision Shaping Gel. This one is new for me because I used to use the one with the spoolie on the end. This one has a felt tip type of filler as well. And I quite like this. I accidentally bought this instead of the other one. And I'm going to move on to the other side, which has a rather thick tip. But I quite like that because it's quite quick and easy. I'm going to be using a little bit of eyebrow gel. This is the Maybelline Brow Drama in Dark Blonde. And this has been my go-to eyebrow gel for, I don't know, the past year or so. I've been using this for quite some time. I'm shaking up my foundation. I'm currently using this. This is the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua. And this is in the color number 12 Beige Rose. I stopped using my CoverGirl, which I was using up until I found this one again in my collection. And the reason why I stopped using it was because it was getting too dark for me. I've gone quite a bit paler since summer, so I had to find a foundation that I could use. So I put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I just apply it with a brush. Because I find that works the best with this foundation. With foundation done, I'm moving on to concealer. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I think I used this in my Get Ready With Me where I showed the Anastasia palette as well. And this is in Custard. So it's a little bit too dark for me, but because it's quite yellow toned, I find it still works really well on my under eye area. Because that's pretty much the only place I really use this. So I just dot this on. And then I take a fluffy Real Techniques blush, this is, I believe, called the Deluxe Crease Brush, and that's what I use to blend it out. And then what I do, I take my fingers and just gently press it down, because I find it lasts a bit longer if I do that. Then I'm going to set my under eye area, and I'm going to use this. And this is a yellow banana powder. There are plenty of them on the market. This happens to be my makeup studio, and this was gifted to me, so I thought I'd try it out. I've been using this in the past week, and I'm using a Real Techniques setting brush to gently tap a little bit of this powder onto my under eye area, like so. Then for the rest of my face, I'm using the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder. I reviewed this on my blog on Monday. I've been using this for the past couple of weeks. I'm not sure if you can see, but it has quite a bit of a dip in there already. And I'm going to use this for setting the rest of my makeup. So that's the base done, so now it's time to add a little bit of color back into my face. And I'm going to start off by using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Radiant Light, and that's what this looks like. And I'm going to use an Up and Up, I believe this is called a powder brush, I'm not sure, to do that. And I also showed this in the other video that I did a few weeks ago. And I find this adds a little bit of color back into my face. And I kind of use this as a bronzer, really. It's a powder that's actually too dark for me. Followed by the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, which I'm going to use as a contour. I used to use the NARS Laguna over summer, but again, I find that right now I'm too pale for using that. So I'm going to be putting that right here in sort of like a V shape to sort of chisel out my face a little bit. But my face is quite narrow, so I don't want to go overboard because then I make it even longer and more narrow than it already is. So that's why I try to go for subtle here. Next up is highlighter. I've been using this mostly the past couple of weeks. This is the Lou-Manizer by the Balm. This is one of my favorite highlighters. It is ultra, ultra shimmery, and it's very, very pretty. So I'm going to be using this Zoeva Lux highlight brush for that. And I'm just going to apply this to the tops of my cheekbones, and then I'm going to go around my eye in a C shape, just for a little bit of glow. So after highlighter, it's time for blush, and this is my current favorite blush to use. It is the Rose shape. I think these are called the Milani powder blush, and this is in the color Tea Rose, so they're the rose shaped ones. And I really love using this on a Zoeva like angled blush brush like this. I just tap it in the product a few times because this is quite pigmented, and then I just kind of swirl it around, apply a little bit to my temple, just to sort of make sure it all blends nicely into that bronzer and into the contour that I just applied. And I find this gives just the right amount of color back into my face. Then it's time for the major part of this video, which is the eyeshadow palette. I'm going to be using the Vice 4 as it says in the title. What I do is use as few neutrals as possible. So I'm really looking forward to playing around with this green shade over here. I think I'm going to do something with this pretty burgundy over here as well. Maybe a little bit of that lilac. I think that green and purple can make a nice mix. So that's what I think I'm going to go for. The only thing I want to use as a neutral is a brow bone highlight. So first I'm going to apply Grasshopper all over my lid. And this is the first time I'm using any of these colors on my lids. So I'm really trying to pack on this color to make it as vibrant as possible. Right, so that's green eyeshadow done. Then I think, just looking at it now, I don't really see a really good like super duper crease color. So I think I'm just going to use Underhand, which is that burgundy shade that I mentioned before. Let me see. And I'm going to use a Sigma small tapered blending brush for this. This is an E45. So that's what that looks like. Tapping off the excess. And then we're going to put this in the crease. Yeah, so I like how this deepens it up quite a bit. So I'm just going to blend out that shade using this Sigma E40 brush. So this is a blending brush, just to make sure it's a little bit softer along the edges. I think I'm going to use 1985, and that's this super duper bright pinky purple shade. And I think I'm going to use that on my lower lash line for a little bit more color even. And I think I'm going to be using this Sephora smudger brush for that. Now, I find that color a little bit too bright on its own, so I'm going to use that same smudger brush, and I'm going to use the other side, and I'm going to take some more of that Underhand burgundy color to deepen this up in the outer corner and connect it to the burgundy shade that we used before. Then for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to be using that lilac shade, which is called Harlot. And I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk brush, and I'm going to take Discreet, which I think is the best highlight shade in this palette. So I'm going to apply that along the brow bone, like so. So I'm going to be taking this skin tone color, which is called Framed, and I'm going to use that to blend out my crease color. And then what I'm going to do, just to brighten and liven it up a little bit, is reapply that green shade, which is called Grasshopper, and I'm just going to reapply it to make it more vibrant again, because it got a little muddy along the line. Alright, so that's the eyeshadow done. I'm going to be using mascara. This is by Makeup Studio, the 4D False Lash Original, which I actually quite like. The brush is quite small, and it does make for easy accidents, I find. I tend to be pretty messy with this. But yeah, if I'm careful, then this is a really nice mascara. I think for lipstick, I'm going to be using this Estee Lauder lipstick in Impulsive. This is one of my favorite nudes ever, so that's what I'm going to be putting on my lips, as the eyes are already so bright. Let me get my hair, make sure that's all fine and dandy. And then that's pretty much it. This is the completed look. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you would like to see more of me, I also have a blog, floatingindreams.com. Please check that out if you want to. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.